Hi, first graders. The read aloud you're going to hear today is the book Owen. The book Owen is by the author Kevin Henkes. Kevin Henkes is the author and the illustrator of the book Owen. Remember, as I read, we're thinking about the characters. So, who are the main characters in this book? And what are they like? So, what do they say and what do they do? Okay, and what are some examples of what they say and what they do? So, let's read the book Owen by Kevin Henkes. Owen had a fuzzy yellow blanket. He'd had it since he was a baby. He loved it with all his heart. Fuzzy goes where I go, said Owen. And Fuzzy did. Upstairs, downstairs, in between. Inside, outside, upside down. Fuzzy likes what I like, said Owen. And Fuzzy did. Orange juice, grape juice, chocolate milk, ice cream, peanut butter, applesauce cake. Isn't he getting a little old to be carrying that thing around? Asked Mrs. Tweezers. Haven't you heard of the blanket fairy? Owen's parents hadn't. Mrs. Tweezers filled them in. That night, Owen's parents told Owen to put Fuzzy under his pillow. In the morning, Fuzzy would be gone, but the blanket fairy would leave an absolutely wonderful, positively perfect, especially terrific, big boy gift in its place. So let's think about what's happening for a minute. Their neighbor, Mrs. Tweezers, was telling his parents that it's probably time for him to not be carrying a blanket anymore because he's getting a little bit too old. So I wonder what this blanket fairy is going to leave him. Do you think there really is a blanket fairy? Let's read to find out. Owen stuffed Fuzzy inside his pajama pants and went to sleep. No blanket fairy, said Owen in the morning. No kidding, said Owen's mother. No wonder, said Owen's father. Fuzzy's dirty, said Owen's mother. Fuzzy's torn and ratty, said Owen's father. No, said Owen, Fuzzy is perfect. And Fuzzy was. Fuzzy played Captain Plunger with Owen. Fuzzy helped Owen become invisible. And Fuzzy was essential when it came to nail clippings and haircuts and trips to the dentist. Can't be a baby forever, said Mrs. Tweezers. Haven't you heard of the vinegar trick? Owen's parents hadn't. Mrs. Tweezers filled them in. When Owen wasn't looking, his father dipped Owen's favorite corner of Fuzzy into a jar of vinegar. Owen sniffed it and smelled it and sniffed it. He picked a new favorite corner. Then he rubbed the smelly corner all around his sandbox, buried it in the garden, and dug it up again. Good as new, said Owen. Fuzzy wasn't very fuzzy anymore, but Owen didn't mind. He carried it, he wore it, and dragged it. He sucked it, and hugged it, and twisted it. What are we going to do? Asked Owen's mother. School is starting soon, said Owen's father. Can't bring a blanket to school, said Mrs. Tweezers. Haven't you heard of saying no? Owen's parents hadn't. Mrs. Tweezers filled them in. I have to bring Fuzzy to school, said Owen. No, said Owen's mother. No, said Owen's father. Owen buried his face in Fuzzy. He started to cry and would not stop. Don't worry, said Owen's mother. It'll be all right, said Owen's father. And then suddenly Owen's mother said, I have an idea. It was an absolutely wonderful, positively perfect, especially terrific idea. First she snipped, then she sewed. Then she snipped again and sewed some more. Snip, snip, snip. Sew, sew, sew. Dry your eyes, wipe your nose, hooray, hooray, hooray. Now Owen carries one of his not-so-fuzzy handkerchiefs with him wherever he goes. And Mrs. Tweezers doesn't say a thing. All right, friends, so I want you to think about who is the main character in this book. So once you know who the main character is, give a thumbs up. So if you said the main character was Owen, you are correct. He was who the story was mostly about, Owen. How would you describe the character Owen? How would you describe him? What words would you use? I would describe Owen as being very silly. I think Owen was silly because when I look back on these pages and see what he was doing with his blanket, like how he played Captain Plunger with his blanket, and how he put his blanket on his head thinking he was invisible, I would say Owen was silly. I also would say that Owen was just an all-around happy mouse too. So I'd describe him as silly, and I would describe him as happy. He's happy, he loves to play and do things with his fuzzy blanket. All right, first graders, awesome job following around with that book.